What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nell, and welcome to my show, Nell Bell. So, Nell Bell is a platform where I will share different life experiences and stories that I have written. Um, just different things that I wrote in the last couple of years. And I actually started writing in elementary school. I wrote my very first poem about my grandfather, who I've actually never met. But my poem was so good, my teacher recommended that I join this poetry club. And in the club, my first poem that I wrote was actually about a zebra. So, as you can see, I have a thing for zebras for my picture in the back. But yeah, so I love writing, I love expressing myself on paper. So in high school, I had a project where we had to write poems, and I just knew this was like the best project ever. So I went home, did my project. There was this one poem, it was my favorite one. It was like we had to write one poem, but it was really two poems about opposite things. And I wrote about, day and night, like life and day and life and night. And I just knew that was going to be the poem to make my teacher like, oh my gosh. But when I got my project back, I actually had an F. And my teacher told me, he didn't like my poems, and that, kind of set me back and made me not want to share anything, that I had to say creatively on paper with anybody ever again. So I would still write from time to time, not as much, but I would do it from time to time, but I would never like share it with anybody because that situation broke my spirit. So over time, just writing different things and about how I feel, and going through my journey and realizing, who it is that I am and who it is I want to be. I realized that writing was a part of me, and it was, the best way for me to get my messages across. So I started back writing, and this idea just popped in my head to start a platform and start to share it. So here is Nell Bell. So my real name is Chanel, and my family and close friends have always called me Nell. And over the years, I tried to like give myself like different nicknames, like to try to stray away from that name, but it's really the only name that ever really stuck for me. Nell, and it actually means shining light. So I don't know why I was like trying to run away from it. But yeah, so Nell is just an abbreviation of my name, Chanel. And the Bell part of it, my great grandmother, her name is Annabelle, and my family always speaks about, how much of a beautiful spirit she was. She was a dark skinned, beautiful chocolate woman, and they always speak on how her energy was just so pleasant, and that's what I want for myself. So this is like my mini dedication to her, along with my favorite, or one of my favorite characters being Tinkerbell. I love Tinkerbell as a kid. Not just the Tinkerbell that they showed on Peter Pan, like the actual Tinkerbell movies. Like that was really my cup of tea. I didn't really too much care about how they showed Tinkerbell on Peter Pan, because that wasn't all of her personality. That was just one perspective of her. So yeah, that's where my name Nell Bell comes from. So I got this idea because, like I said, I've been going through my little personal journey of finding myself, and I was like, okay, Chanel, what is it that you like to do naturally? Because I can do a lot of stuff. I've already done a lot of stuff. Like, I work so many different jobs, I participate in so many different things. But what is it that you just like to do? And I like to talk. Like, I really do like to talk. I don't like talking to everybody, and I don't just like talking about anything, but I actually like to talk. Like, I like talking about self-growth and, you know, how to evolve and how to get to the next level. Like, I've always find myself, you know, motivating people or, you know, giving them advice on different parts of life, and that's just something that I've always done naturally. So I was just like, hey, you like to write, you like to talk, you got something to say, why not put it all in one? So yeah, this is like my little way of sharing parts of myself, sharing my creative side, because I like being creative and I just want to share it. So thank you guys for watching my little mini introduction of the show. Now we're about to hear a mini testimonial that I gave for myself when I began my self-growth journey. So I wrote a poem called Who Am I in like 2016 for a class project, and I found the poem a couple of years later, and I was just like, wow. So I decided to read the poem, record myself while I read it, and just express how I felt after reading it. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and until next time. Who am I? I am an African princess, carrying a basket full on my head. I am a reliable shoulder to lean on, with no spine to stand strong. I am a bright light in a room of others, trying to find my own outlet. I am a caterpillar crawling, waiting for my transition to finally fly. I am destined for greatness, still searching for the right path. Who am I? Who am I? That's a question we all have to ask ourselves and be honest with ourselves about. Who am I? I wrote this poem a few years ago, and reading it gets me a little emotional, but I seen how much I've grown from when I wrote that poem. But the truth is, I'm still transitioning. Sometimes I still feel that weight over me from time to time, but I'm transitioning now. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm finally transitioning to finally fly. Who I was when I wrote this poem isn't completely who I am now, because there's been some changes. I've made some changes to really learn who I am.